right, guys, Sukhasana. So cross your legs at your mid-shins. Come seated on top of your prop, your blankets or your block, whatever you're gonna elevate the bottom with. And then lean over one side to the other. Take the hand, upper hamstring, lower buttock. Rotate out, but also draw back. Do this on both sides.
I can't do this, so you probably can.
Again, make sure that you're seated right in the center of your prop and not leaning forward. So you're not at the front edge of your blankets, but you're not at the back edge. You're right in the center. After you have moved the buttock flesh, see that the two sits bones move away from one another. And then once you do that, bring your fingertips outside of your hips to your blankets, your blocks, or your mat. Keep your elbows bent. Draw the tips of your elbows out and lift your side rib cage. Now, we talked about this yesterday. As you lift the side rib cage, the armpits also become hollow. So watch. And maybe you can't really see with my shirt, but armpits would kind of be closed here. There's a kind of drawing up from the center of the palm of the hand through the inner wrist into the inner arm and into the armpit. So use the center of the palm of your hand to draw up all the way up into the armpit. Lift the side rib cage, bring the tops of your shoulders down, bring your abdominal wall slightly back, away from your clothing, so away from your shirt. The lower abdominals can move away from the clothing as well. Bring the front part of your rib cage down. Focus your gaze out in front of you on the mat or the floor. Your chin is parallel. Here, guys, you want to spread the collarbone. You want to spread the breastbone. Think of the breastbone. Uncoil the breastbone and really spread so that the muscles of the chest are spread. Maintain this. Bring the hands together at your heart center. Namaskarasana. Next exhalation, close your eyes. Again, keep your chin parallel to the mat. Begin your Ujjayi breathing. This is an audible inhalation, audible exhalation, and the inhale and the exhale are even with one another. This is controlled breathing. Remember that as you inhale, you want to deepen this inhalation and move it out into your outer rib cage. Empty the lungs completely with your exhale. I'll chant Om. Join in or you're welcome to just listen. Exhale your breath. Bow your head by bringing your chin to the groove of your neck. Bring your hands down to the tops of your legs. Center your head. And as you exhale your breath, slowly open your eyes and release your hand. Go ahead and come to the very top edge of your blankets. So if you're using blankets, if you're using a block, you can stay as you are. Adjust the buttock flesh one more time. Notice which leg you have crossed in closest to you. Bring your blocks out in front of you. Separate your arms, your hands, at least inner shoulder width. Push into your blocks. Move your breastbone up away from your navel. Push your blocks forward. Keep this movement of your breastbone not only spreading, but up towards your chin. Concave your upper back. So the space between your shoulder blades concave. Once you get your blocks pushed out as far in front of you as you can, guys, really ground your outer feet and your outer ankle bone and your outer hips descend. Use this anchor to lengthen the spine. So move the navel one more time up and away from your pubic bone. Stretch your arms out. Use the backs of your upper arms. Bring your fingers together. Push down into your blocks as if you're going to push them into the floor. And lift the chest. Look out towards the top of your block, towards the top of your mat. And then bring your blocks back. Good. And maybe we'll do what we did yesterday. I don't think any of you guys were there here. Joan was. Lisa, you weren't. We did a lot of quadricep back bendy stuff. Actually, you really have no fear because I don't remember too much about what we did yesterday. So we'll see what happens. So uncross and recross. So cross your legs opposite. Now in Sukhasana, guys, we really, and this does compact, or some people call tighten, the outer hips, moving your knees closer to your midline. And you could feel that this does bring a little bit of a compactedness to your outer legs and your outer hips. Keep that. Lift the navel away from the pubic bone. Bring the blocks out in front. As you push, you want to put weight in the hands, drawing down into the blocks. Push the blocks forward. Your chin can move towards the groove of your neck, opening up the back of your neck. Push out through your hands into your blocks. Move your blocks further forward. Good. Kind of lean with this. Also bring your spine in. So you've got to use some resistance against the mat or against the blocks in order to open the spine or lengthen the spine. So as you push down, move the spine in. Move the spine into the dorsal body. Move the belly button up, but draw the abdominal wall slightly away from the shirt. Grip over the blocks, give a good grip, and draw them back towards you as you come seated. Perfecto. And then let's stretch our legs out in front of us. And then we'll move the flesh. So you'll lean over. And as you do this with your legs long, you'll notice that the foot moves as you adjust the flesh. Watch. So draw the heel down, adjust the flesh, and draw the upper leg bone into the hip socket. Do you get it? Here. So do that on both sides. Bring the sacrum in and up. So here's the sacrum. In and up. Lift the side ribs. Use a strap if you need to. Otherwise, we don't sit like this, guys. So you want to take any hollowing out of the chest, any hollowing out of the abdominals by moving your spine. Watch, in and up. And then bring your torso forward. Reach forward, grab your outer feet or use your strap. Inhale, stretch up, and exhale, fold. So keep your heels, your center heels grounded. Center heel bones grounded. So draw down into the floor. If you're using a strap, you still get the length. Move the spine in. You may not fold as far forward, but move the spine in. The elbows not only bend, but they bend out and up. See if this can encourage the front ribs and the back ribs to spread. And then inhale, lift up, and exhale to release. Very good. What else did we do yesterday, Joan? Did we do some twist or something? I don't really remember, but let's go ahead and move our props over to the side. We'll do something nice and kind of fun. Like, we'll do this for Stella. Oh gosh, if only I could remember. Okay, so go ahead and roll up a blanket or a towel or whatever you've got to use. And we'll do the blanket rollover for a moment and then we'll come up. And I do remember we did wall pigeon, so we'll do some stuff like that. So go ahead and sit in front of your blanket. And remember that with your blanket roll, depending on your flexibility, your blanket can be rolled smaller than this. And it doesn't have to be what we call a yoga blanket. It can be any blanket or a towel or anything that you can roll into a pretty substantial roll. And then sit in front. Knees are bent, feet are grounded, guys. And this is how we think, okay, well, should there actually be alignment principles used when you come lying on the mat or when you're coming up from the mat? And the answer is yes, just for the protection of the spine or any of the other joints. So this is how we recline. You'll press down through the feet, lift and tuck. So here you're drawing the posterior pelvis down. As you begin to roll over, try to bring the bottom edge of your shoulder blades to your blanket roll. You lift your bottom, spread your chest, your arm bones, and come grounded. The blanket ends up at the base of the shoulder blades here. Once you get the base of the shoulder blades against your blanket, then lengthen your sacrum and bring your bottom down. Keep your knees bent. Yeah. And as you're doing this, you will notice, or you'll begin to feel, keep your knees bent and your feet on the mat. But you will begin to feel this kind of lifting of what we call the side armpit chest. This. Yeah. The blanket. So what's going on is the tips of your shoulder blades are being moved into your back. The part of your spine that is resting on your blanket is being moved in. So the top of the spine and the lower part of your spine should be really long. So as your knees are bent, you are tucking, we call tucking your sacrum or your tailbone. Yeah. Bottom edge of the shoulder blades. Remember, we roll up and over a couple of times. So start, if you can get this blanket, at the very bottom edge of your shoulder blades. And then keep your knees bent just here for a moment so that we can kind of go over and discuss and discover. Like a rhyme, right? So you can also notice, guys, what I want you to notice as you're here, knees bent, long buttock flesh, top of the buttock flesh moves towards the heels of your feet. So, but what I want you to notice here is the position of the front rib cage, the bottom of your front rib cage. Do we notice that the bottom of your front rib cage is moving down, right? Not extending out, but moving down. And this is the position that we want to place the front rib cage in poses like dog pose, any pose, really. Bottom of your front rib cage moves down. Now from here, you can draw the side abdominal wall down. And if you're comfortable, you can let your knees rock side to side for a moment. If you're comfortable. Don't allow the backs of your upper arms to lift up as your knees move over to the sides. And attempt to use your knees as one knee, 1 foot, 1 hip. So there's that compacting. And as you move the knees over, move the abdominal wall opposite of your knees. So it's like a twisting where your focus is on the side rib opposite of the knees. Perfect. Bring the knees back to the center because we can't be here all day, guys. And then you'll lift your bottom up and you'll roll over that blanket and you just kind of move side to side, roll over the blanket. The blanket ends up down below the shoulder blades now. Lengthen the side hips, lengthen the sacrum and the tailbone to bring the bottom down. Take the arms out, spread the arms out, moving the shoulder blades away from the spine. Palms are up towards the ceiling. So again, you're going to that spreading of the breastbone and that spreading of the muscles at the chest. The knees now can move side to side again with your focus on keeping your torso against, or your back body against that blanket. So as your knees are moving, you're not lifting up your opposite arm or shoulder. Good, guys. If you draw the abdominal wall opposite of the knees, you'll feel even more opening in that side body. Just trying to lengthen out the side body. She looked like she was having trouble. And then come back where your knees are to the center. Roll over your blanket a little bit further. So now, and you do that the same way, you lift your bottom And you can kind of rock or roll side to side, rolling over the blanket. It's now at the lumbar spine. So it's below your back rib cage. Again, you may notice, and I'm not quite sure, but you should feel as if the front of the bottom part of the ribs are still moving down, down. Even the side abdominal wall is going down. Just notice that for a moment. You can let your knees rock, and this time, if you're comfortable, they can go all the way over and rest against the mat. You look opposite of your knees, and again, now you should really move the abdominals opposite of your knees. See how much length or space that you can create in the side body. Keep the chest and the breastbone lined up to the ceiling. The abdominals can move opposite of the knees. That's always helpful, I feel. Looks like I've lost more people. Huh. So once the knees get over to the side, if you're comfortable and you want to let them rest there for a moment, and then again, see if you can create some space. Yeah. Good, 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 good. And then bring it to the center. And if you hadn't gone opposite, go opposite. Again, see how much length you can get in the side outer hip. And we can bring our knees back to the center if you hadn't done so. Let's go ahead and straighten the knees. Keep the inner knees and the inner feet, inner ankle bones together, flowing, meaning draw out through the base of your big toe joint as if you're pressing the gas pedal, and then you can sweep the arms over the head. I've got the palms up, and I'm really trying to extend out into my fingertips as I reach out deep into my toes. So just getting a full body stretch. Remember, the flesh on the back of your body is going towards your heels. The flesh on the front of your body should be moving towards your chest. And then release with your exhalation, release your arms. And bend your knees one at a time. Drag your heel towards your bottom. Once you get your heels into your bottom, you can put your hands on your blanket roll, lift your bottom, and move your blanket down to your sacrum. So you're almost seated on top of that blanket roll. Once you get here, you really kind of pull your torso back towards the top of your head. Let the blanket be kind of used as like a foam roller. That's what I feel out of this. It's like the blanket should really be encouraging the flesh of the posterior pelvis to descend or to move towards your heels. I need some water. Just kidding. I got some. I mean, I'm talking so much, I need a lot of water. And now we're going to get real serious. So lift your bottom, take your hands to your blanket, your feet are grounded. Lift, push your blanket down, lower buttock, upper hamstring, straighten your knees one knee at a time, and here, relax. Let your legs relax, let your arms relax. Even closing the eyes for a moment if you'd like. Very, very good. Go ahead here, and you can now bend your knees one at a time. You can bring your knees into your chest, wrap your arms around your knees, and any movements, or you could just hug the knees into the chest. Keeping the outer hips moving away from you guys, so don't roll your bottom up. Roll over to your right. Use your hands against the mat or the floor to bring yourselves up. Perfect. And once we come seated, now I remember what we did. We'll come over into child's pose. We'll bring the big toes together and the heels slightly apart. And then bring your bottom, your two sitting bones lined up right over your heel bones. Your knees are a little wider than hip distance. And you'll walk your arms out really again. Think of the back of your upper arms, guys. And you could always use your own hands right here to get that length. So if it doesn't want to move on its own, just a reminder, give the flesh a reminder of the direction. And I don't know if Mr. Iyengar said this, but I'm going to say he said, somebody said that you can move the flesh. You can lengthen it. You can move it. You can shorten it. Keep the inner wrist bones lifted and the elbows lifted, and then see if you can concave your upper back so your thoracic spine moves down. And then let your elbows bend and rest. And then bring your head up and go ahead and come over onto the belly. Joe, you don't have to tell me because I really can't remember, but you're going to lie down on your mat. You'll bring your pubic bone down, but you'll relax your bottom. Bring the tops of your ankles and tops of your feet onto your mat. Your forearms are out in front of you. And this is our shoulder opener. So I'm going to bend the right elbow and bring that right elbow into a 90-degree angle out to the right. I want to spread the fingers. Take the left elbow, bend it, bring the left fingertips on the mat. I want to keep this right elbow in a 90 here. And then I'll lift the hip, left hip, left leg, bend the knee, turn, kind of touch the mat, come back to the center. Go over to the opposite side. So left hand, guys, watch. When you start to turn, there's a couple things you don't want to do. One of them is this. You see? So again, you want to make sure that's at a 90-degree angle. Inner wrist bone is engaged. So the inner wrist bone, thumb side of your wrist is grounded. So is your inner elbow. It's grounded. Stays at a 90-degree with the action of the shoulder blade moving away from the spine and then into the body here. Okay. And so, don't go quickly though. So if you're already there, make sure that you've got the right arm bent at a 90-degree angle. You're not lying on your mat. You're using your left fingertips, again, that energetic pulling of the left palm up into the armpit. You'll roll over, lifting the left leg and opening the left hip. Bend the left knee, touch the mat or touch the floor. Don't go quickly. And then you'll exhale and move over to the left. Again, don't go quickly. So make sure that the inner elbow, inner wrist, once you start turning, take a quick look at the elbow to make sure it didn't move. It stayed in that 90-degree angle. Lift your chest up and you'll pull that shoulder blade that you're leaning over into the back, into the body. Open the inner chest. Bend the top knee, the one that's going behind you. If you bend that knee, take the leg up and back, you'll get a lot of opening in the pectoralis minor. Good, good, good. Do this on the right side 3 times, the left side 3 times, and then come back to the center. But don't go quickly, so not fast rotation of this, but roll over on one side, hold that for a moment, check the shoulder blade, check the inner shoulder or the pec minor muscle, check that the elbow remains 90 and that you're using the wrist bone and the inner elbow. right? Because again, remember, you've always got to anchor. There has to be an anchor. There has to be a place for the foundation to be built, right? Whether that's on your feet or on your hands or whatever, you've got to use this to keep yourself grounded and actually get the intended movement wherever we're intending it to go. Once you get back to the center and you have done both sides, we'll bring our tops of our feet down, bring your forehead down, tuck your chin. Now, if you're still there, stay there. And then let's go ahead and let's bring the arms behind us with the palms down. Your forehead's on the mat. Bring the big toes together. Let your heels remain away from one another. Push down with your hands. Lift your chest, your head, and your leg. And then we'll come back grounded. Shalabhasana or locust. So I turned the palms of the hands down, brought the arms right to my side body. Bring your pubic bone down, but relax your bottom. That's hard. Bring your big toes together, everyone. Bring your big toes together and let your heels stay rotated out, internal rotation. Press with the palms of your hands. Press through your pubic bone. Lift your chest, lift your head, lift your legs. Keep your big toes together, heels out. Lift your legs as much as you can. Breathe. Big toes are together. Big toes are together. And then release. Good. Nice. Hannah, this isn't my intended. Well, I guess it really is. Again, big toes together and my heels tuck out. And I want to reach to the fingertips. And then I'll lift the legs, keep the pubic bone grounded, and then lift the chest. Oh, and the head. That's so difficult. But you guys try that again. Big toes together, heels out, palms down, head, chest up. Great. And then exhale, release. Nice. Rest. Any way you want to rest. And then we'll do it just one more time in the more traditional way. So I'm going to stay on the belly, got the big toes together and the heels apart. I'll extend the arms. I'll take the arms, palms face one another, and I'll go up first, reach back, and then I'll see if I could use that to lift the chest and the legs. Oh. Okay, so this time, palms face one another, arms are along your side body. Lift your arms up and reach through your fingertips, then lift your chest, then lift your legs. Nice, nice. Keep the pubic bone grounded, relax the buttocks, release. Excellent. Excellent. Go ahead and push yourselves back into child's pose, Adho Mukha Virasana. Go ahead and bring yourselves up. And I know that we do this one a lot, but I'm going to do this and then we'll do some of the wall pigeon. But I'm going to take my 2 blocks, okay, and I'm going to first come into a lunge. Right leg is in front. We do this one a lot, guys. And I'm going to press through that. Watch. Back heel works. So pretend that you're going to kick the wall down behind you. Back leg works. There's also this action of drawing your feet towards one another. Can you guys see that? So here would be nothing. Let me turn this way. Here would be doing just kind of being in the lunge. Here is drawing, watching this space. Here's drawing the feet towards one another. So, and then there's a really deep pressing into the back heel. I'll bring my block, and this can be more than one. And I'll bring the back leg down, which is the left leg, and I'll bring the block right onto the right sit bone. I'll walk the right foot out, move the torso away so it's a back bend. and I'll see if I can go here and here. Okay, so start in a lunge, start with the right leg forward. Your block that's going to your right sitting bone is going to be high or maybe double blocks, right? But start in a right foot lunge. Fingertips can be anywhere. So maybe you don't have blocks, but you have a chair or you have a sofa. Let's see how I can pretend. Uh,
Underneath your sit bone.
chair like this.
You can
And
take
then when you bring
that and stack them if you want to get some more
that
height.
leg down, you'll move your torso back.
I would put the flat one on the bottom.
Yeah. Lunge, left leg's front, right leg's in back. I mean, left leg is in back, right leg is in front.
There you go. Yeah.
Hug your feet, pull your feet together. Energetically draw your right foot towards your left, but draw your left foot towards your right. And you can do this even when you come into the lunge. And then bring the block under the right sit bone. And if you don't have a block, maybe you're using something else. And then bring your left knee down and then sit on your block, right sitting bone. Good, good, good. Now really draw the back outer foot down. So the pinky side of your left foot, bring it down as if you're gonna push it through the mat. That back left outer foot. See if you can walk your hands back so they're moving closer to that upper leg bone. Good, good. And here's a good idea. If you can, still energetically hug your feet, maybe interlace your fingers behind you, stretch your knuckles down first, down the left thigh or left leg, and then see if you can lean back. Good. Bring your gaze or your head back center, release your interlace, take your arms out, bring your arms up. Good. Reach with your arms, reach with your fingers. If you can, use the arms. Use the arms. Remember, the arms are going opposite, moving the torso out of the waist. Lean back as far as you can. Open the left quadricep and then release. Good. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. So there is a rotation that keeps all of this safe and it works. And I was telling another class that anyway, I learned this one for correction and identifying and working for and with scoliosis. So as extreme as this seems, as extreme as the work seems, it's all about evening at the hips. Do you see? So in scoliosis, not only affecting the upper back, but a lot of times affecting the hips, the lower back in this space. So it's all about trying to find evenness and strength because the muscles could be weak, causing or whatever, tight, causing a pulling or an imbalance. You could say an imbalance. So when we're doing work like this, don't think of it as just asana, but think of it as more of a way to figure out how to balance the joints. Yeah. So you start in a lunge opposite. And that means left leg is in front and don't go quickly. So you have that time to really open up that inner right thigh. Now use your right foot and see what can happen or see what goes on. See how it articulates if you use your right foot in the lunge, kind of press back into it and then push forward. And we never really think about the ankle, but you have to flex the ankle, the back ankle. It flexes like a dorsiflex of the foot. And then pull your feet together, energetically hug them towards your midline. And this articulates, it changes the position of your hips. Now here you're trying to still even out your hip points. Come down onto your block. I think it's probably best to let the back leg come to the mat and then sit on the left sitting bone. And then what we do, and I think that we get, maybe there's a little bit of confusion about this back hip. This is the hip that we're really focused on. Do you see? And that's the one that you're probably feeling the most. But watch this back foot. Sometimes it does this roll. And when you roll to that outer back foot, it doesn't just move the foot, but watch from here to the foot. Can you see? And what did that do? That evened out my two hip points, evening the pelvis. That's what you're working for. You're working to even out the pelvis. So both of the hip points are working evenly. Good. Now interlace your fingers behind you. Do opposite interlace. So left over right. Try to get those knuckles to extend down, 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 down. And then lean back. Pull the tops of your shoulders down. Good. Come back where your torso's leveled. Take the arms out and up. Now here's how we use the arms. Lift. Lift as if the fingers are going to touch the ceiling. Nice. Good. Breathe and lean back. See if you can open up the front of the right hip. Release. Perfecto. Perfect. Now, this is the one that I was thinking could be done with the chair or anything. Well, I was going to say I wish I had furniture in here, but I do have furniture in here. But anyway, even a chair could be used for this behind you. If you don't have a wall or you don't have what props you think, the bed, you could put your toes on the bed. So what I'm going to do is take this blanket and put it against the wall. And then I'm going to hold on to my blocks. Blocks aren't really necessary, but I'm going to hold on to the block. What the problem usually is getting that left knee all the way back to the wall and getting the left shin and the left ankle and the left foot. Usually, a lot of times it may be here. So we want to go up, you see? So I'm pressing that shin bone. Watch the outer left foot. It does adjust the hips just like in the last pose. And then I'll bring my right foot up. Now here, we did this yesterday, guys, watch. I want to bend the knee, bring the posterior pelvis down. This is another kind of a hip leveler or balancer. And so I'll bend that front knee.
Yeah, we've been the front knee. So it's only one.
Okay. Yeah. And then we walk back. Even if you're using a chair, if you've got a chair, yoga chair, you turn it upside down. But anyway, and then you can lean back to the wall, pelvis, posterior pelvis descending here, okay? So let's try it. Left leg starts at your prop, wall, or chair, or bed. Yeah, there you go. Now take the left knee up, but bring the top of the left foot and the left shin to the wall and then slide it down. Yeah, slide down. And then use the blocks, your hands to the blocks to get that right foot up and on your mat. There you go.
So you want to get this up?
Well, because this one's always kind of tough for you.
Right here. Oh,
Took my foot off.
Your leg goes weird.
Yeah, so you just
Listen, this is an internal rotation on your back leg. Okay, you can put your hands on your block. Your right leg is forward, and you can bend that right knee and move your bottom in away from the wall. Move your bottom in away from the wall. And then I'll show, I can't do this for you guys, but I will give this, watch, in. It's a deep internal rotation. And if you think lower buttock on your left side does this, lower buttock on your left side still gives a rotation out. And then the thigh bone moves back.
Ouch.
Press the outer foot. It's the outer foot. Take the out, there you go. Outer ankle bone, left ankle bone, reach out with that outer left ankle bone. And then walk yourselves back So the right foot walks back. You try to bring your bottom against the wall or bed or whatever you're using, and bring the back body against the wall. So shoulder blades, arms. Now here is a lift of the pelvis. So anterior pelvis up, posterior pelvis down. And then release. Good. Good, 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 good. And then switch. So right leg up, knee to the wall, foot to the wall. And you know, it is kind of challenging to get that left foot up, but I use the blocks. If you could put the weight in your hands. Yep. And then draw internal on your back leg, internal. You can even use your own hands. That lower buttock flesh sweeps out. The femur bone moves to the back of your leg. Good, 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 good. And then you almost, not almost, but you lift the quadricep up. So that right quadricep moves towards your hip. Move your pubic bone towards your belly button. And we can bend the front knee to give more space or opening in the back. You can also take your gaze back and open up your chest as you're kind of leaning into this. Good, few more seconds, guys. Keep breathing. Focus on the rotation of your back leg. Focus on the evening of your two hips. Can you move your torso away from your left leg bone? So you're, Lisa said no. So, so now go ahead and walk back, and you'll bring your bottom against the wall inside of your foot. So you're not against your foot. Your bottom is flush to the wall or bed or chair. And then bring your sacrum tailbone down, shoulders and arms to the wall. Great, 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 great. And then exhale, release. Ah, very, very, very good, guys. Go ahead and come forward out of that. So you're here, or wherever you were, and bring your blocks out in front or your fingertips. And let's see if we can just step up. Now, when you step up, try to bring the knee up. Take the feet about hip distance apart. Bring your blocks whatever level you need them, kind of push down and shift forward. What standing pose did we do yesterday? None? I don't think we did any. Yeah, now here, guys, you want, we did the one where we put our feet, our toes on the blocks to give those calf muscles some length, right? So your feet are about hip distance apart. And let's see if we can think about extending or descending the calves to the heels. And then see if you can spread the knee pits and then lift your hamstrings up. Sounds impossible, right? Shift evenly into your feet. So lower legs go here. Backs of your upper legs go here. So there's a separation. So lower legs down, hamstrings up. Now, guys, lean into your feet so you're even in your feet. Can you guys take your hands and just move your hands to your calves and just see if you can draw down? And use your hands gently. Just work the calf muscles down towards the mat. Bring your hands, maybe center hamstring, kind of right at the center, the backs of your legs. Press in and up. Can you guys feel that that makes a difference, those small little subtle movements? Good. Spread your posterior pelvis. Stretch the muscles away from your spine, from your sacrum. And then bring your hands. They can come back to your blocks. And we can look forward, and maybe you straighten those elbows as you look out in front, extend the side ribs, and then come up. Very good. I am going to do the one where we fold with the blocks. In studio, we used to do this at the chair, using the back of a chair. So I'm going to take 2 blocks. I wonder if you could do it with one. Guess if you have small feet, I'm not sure. Yeah, it could be done. So I'm going to take 2 blocks side by side. Oh, okay. And then I lean over in front of my blocks with my fingertips there. You can use one. I think one would work as well. And then I'll step up, and I'm just bringing the base of my toes against the block. And it's a challenge. You've got to shift forward in order to get the base of the toes up. And then here, instead of letting your sitting bones fall behind your heels, you want to shift in. And then begin to move the arms and hands out in front. At the very end of this, guys, we'll come up and we'll bring our sacrum tailbone down and the anterior pelvis up here. Okay, so start 1 foot at a time. And it's the base of your toe joints. It's the base of your toe joints. And automatically, you will feel your heels. Automatically, you will feel your heels come down. You'll feel extension of your lower legs, your calf muscles, yes. Now lift the hamstrings up, and that can be energetically. That's great. Fingertips out in front against the mat, over the blocks. Move forward, shift forward, sits bones right over the heels. And then see if you can get the length, the rest of this length in your spine. In your spine. Good. Walk your hands back. Keep your feet where they are. See if you can come standing. Now, when you come standing, back of the waist down, front of the waist up, arms can go up. See if you can stretch the legs. Nice. And then release. Step down carefully. Very, very good, guys. I'm going to come down into dog pose. Did we do dog pose today? I don't think we did. So, and you're standing. So one way that we can come in is to stand at the back of the mat. Come forward, and it's that same idea. Sitting bones go right over the heels. Leg bones and outer hips go back. You'll walk your arms out. Now, when you're doing this, your work is to move your outer hips, outer feet, outer knees back. So you don't want to do this, in other words. And then press your weight back. Nice straight arms, elbows, lots of length in your arms. So you could start in Uttanasana, back of your mat. Carefully walk the arms out. Good. Now pretend you're still got your blocks. If you're in dog pose, guys, go ahead and lift your 10 toes up. Just your 10 toes. Not your heels, not your inner feet. Just your 10 toes. And then see if you can get those calf muscles down into your mat. Center hamstrings, try to lift them up. And move your sits bones into your low back. Open your chest. Nice. Nice. And then release. Just come down and rest. Perfecto. Resting here, you could do this, or you could just sit on your mat. It depends on how you want to rest. And then go ahead and come up. So I'm going to take a blanket, and that's just to sit. I'm going to use one blanket in my enchilada taco fold. And bring the center of my mat, but back edge. And I'll sit at the very edge of this blanket, and I'll take my legs out to the side for Upavista. Now, what I want to do here, guys, is I want to really center the heels. There's a tendency for the feet to kind of fall back like this or to rotate in. So what you can do, and what I think we did yesterday, is we let them roll out and then we roll them in, and then we try to find that neutral position between that rolling out and that rolling in. So the heel center, especially this inner part of the heel centers, it goes down and extends out. Take L shape with both of your hands. Take it to the your upper part of your legs and roll down so that your inner gully touches the mat. You'll notice your sit bones go up. I'm gonna lean over. Actually, I'm gonna take the right arm to the left with the right palm up. I'm gonna swing the right arm across, so sweep it across in front of me, grab the right heel. I wanna keep watching, guys, don't go yet. I wanna bend the elbow, turn the chest, take the top arm. If it doesn't, don't this. So if it doesn't come over and grab where you can bend and look up, then keep the arm here. Do you see? Maybe even here. But don't let your chest and your gaze do this, because we're going here. We're looking up, chest up, okay? So sit with the legs apart in Upavista. Center the heels. Remember, you can let them go out and then let them roll in, and then find the medium of that. So find the center of that, the neutral position. Toes are up, yeah. And then L shape with your hands, take it to your upper legs and roll down. Index finger kind of rolls down. Yeah, that's it. And another thing you could do is take that blanket behind you and kind of lift it up, moving your sits bones up. That'll open up a space for you to move your torso. Nice, guys. Sit really tall. That's it, Diana. Diana, bring your inner feet more forward. Don't move your, yeah. It's a rotation. It can be very slight. And then once you've got the inner gully rolled down, turn the left palm up. Take the left arm out to the left. The palm is up. The left fingertips are on the mat. Now swing the right arm across, grab the foot, bend the right elbow, bring the ear, maybe the right ear to the right knee, left arm up. Don't turn your chest down, guys. Don't turn your chest down, but your chest begins to go up. The back of your head is what begins to move onto your mat. Good, good. Take the gaze up. Top elbow can bend. There you go, Stella. Stretch that top arm. Just take it to the ceiling. Good, lift. Good. Look up, guys. Turn the chest up. Nice. And then release. And what Hannah did was she used the strap. So I think you could probably do the same thing. I don't know how you would do that here. You see. But it's not this. So it's a horizontal movement where the side rib is stretching out, lining up with that leg bone. You see? So you can use a strap if you need to, but go opposite. So left arm, palm up to the right. Go across, lean over to the left, but you got to keep that grounding in your right leg. Now your top arm, it can come out in front of you and then just kind of swing over that ear. You see? So you can make this kind of modify, how this one may go. Now begin to turn the chest up. Good, turning the chest up. Good, 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 good. Now, everyone kind of stretch into the right leg. Just kind of move the right toes to the right. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Reach into your right leg, guys. Lean to the right, and then see if you can bring that back left rib down, outer right rib up. Good. Press down through your right leg bone. Nice, guys. And then slowly release. Stay centered for a moment just here. Hold behind your knees. You can let your feet roll back. Bring your feet together, soles of your feet. Grab front of your ankles, pull the feet in. You're still at the edge of your blanket. You can open the feet like a book and sit tall. Take a moment. The chin can stay parallel. You can focus your gaze, really broaden your shoulders, spread your collarbone, spread your abdominals. Maybe the gaze focuses in front of you or down on your mat. And then exhale, come forward if you can. Move your spine into the back as you come forward. And then go ahead and release and come up. Perfecto. And you can hold the outer knees, bring the knees together, and then just stretch your legs out. Very, very good. And I think we practiced a little bit of Parsva. So let's do, no, not Parsva, Parva. Let's do that. And then we'll maybe do our back bends. And then we'll do some other stuff. So for this one, and we started this one yesterday at the very beginning. I don't know why, but we did. And so what I'm going to do is just to practice the top half. Fingers face the feet. And I'm seated with the knees bent and the feet grounded. And then I'm just going to keep the elbows grounded, kind of lean back a little bit and just do this. You see, really try to just push. If you notice the elbows, they just straighten. Yeah. Push and lift here, side ribs. And then we'll try to go here. Straighten the legs, point. Not right now, but later we'll go here and here. Okay, so first sit on your mat with your knees bent, yeah, and that kind of tuck of your sacrum. This is a modified version of this would be your tabletop. So your knees are bent and your feet are grounded and your hands are behind you, and then kind of lean back and bend your elbows. Now push to your elbows, straighten and open your chest. Good, hold that for a moment and then release. Good, and then again, you're kind of rocking back into your hands and your elbows are bent. Push, lift your chest up towards your chin. Good, don't lift your bottom yet. And then again, maybe you have to take your hands a little further back. They're at a little bit of a slant. And you're kind of leaning back, and then open the chest one more time. And then release. Straighten the knees, keep the feet together. Keep the feet together. Push, open the chest, lift the bottom, bring your feet against your mat. So your inner feet are moving down, your outer feet are pushing down, your head can lean back. Broaden the chest and bring the bottom in, and then release. Nice. I guess I could have said that you can do this with blocks, right? So if your shoulders are tight, you've got maybe tight chest muscles, you could do. My hands, fingers would kind of go over. Blocks are still behind me. And I wish I had a chair here, but this can even be done on a chair. See? So go ahead and try this one more time, lifting up, using blocks if you need to. Elbows start bent. Lift the chest and lift the bottom and ground the feet. Good. Elbows start bent. Good. Good, 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 good. And then exhale, release. So I'm gonna show you guys, we'll do one more of those, but I just want to show you a more modified version in case you want to practice this on a more regular basis, right? So the knees are bent, knees are apart. And to me, this is just as hard. I don't feel like this is any easier, but we'll do some different hand variations. So we'll start with our fingers maybe facing behind us. And this one, they start straight. And then I just try to lift up into a tabletop. Oh, fingers facing behind you. So try that one first. Again, I don't find this to be easy. Lift, open the chest, come into a tabletop. Good. And then come down. Turn the fingers out, away from one another. Again, they're behind you. Knees are bent, separated, feet are separated. Lift the bottom, and then you've got to get that chest up. Yeah, so you do feel that inner shoulder work that we've been talking about. And then come down. Nice. Just one more, which is going to be the fingers facing you. Have we done this one? No? Okay. Come up. See how high you can lift. Try to lift into a tabletop. Think of the tabletop being able to place cups there and then come down. Cups. Oh, well, very good. Let's do Setu Bandha. I'm going to use a blanket, and that's just for me, and that's only if you need it. But I bring this under my backs of my shoulders and upper arms like that. My head is on the mat. And then I lift up by opening the quadriceps and bring the block underneath me to my sacrum. Now, if your back is pretty tight or you've got, maybe you've had surgeries or things that don't allow for this type of movement, you can just kind of come down on the mat, or you can use your block lower. It doesn't have to be on the highest level that we've got. But if you strain your knees, your inner feet must go onto your mat. This is another one where it's extremely important not to externally rotate the hips, because then it compresses the lower back. It compresses the sacrum. So this is just a reclined or supported bridge pose. It's a supported bridge pose. Tops of your shoulders really come away from your ears and your feet ground. And you think think about that blanket roll at the base of the shoulder blades in the very beginning. That's the action here with the tips of your shoulder blades in. Good, good, good. If you have the flexibility, you're welcome to straighten the knees. Or you can partially, sometimes I can straighten the knees more than other times. But this is definitely about the front of your body, your quadriceps, your psoas muscles. Yeah. And it's about those muscles extending or opening. Yeah, you do want to keep, the more you keep that internal rotation, the more you're able to direct the flesh and the muscle, the bone. And then you guys, if you had your knees straight, go ahead and bend your knees and put your feet on your mat. And then you'll lift up. You've got to draw the backs of your arms down as you lift up and take your block down. Just move it to your side. Now to come all the way down, I hold the mat and tuck. Come down one vertebra at a time. Once I get all the way down onto my mat, I'll just move this blanket that I had under my shoulders out. I'll bring my knees up and take my knees to the left, and I'll twist to the right. Mm-hmm. So go back to that twisting or moving our knees in blanket roll. And remember, I said your abdominal area gently rotates opposite of your knee, but it's not a hard, forceful movement. It's a gentle rotation. Even if you needed to, you could even use your own hand to draw your abdominal flesh to the right. And then go opposite. Bring the knees up and let them go over to the opposite direction. So knees to the right and twist to the left. And when the knees come down, they may not be even here, but then I'm not too worried about that. I think my main concern is that the shoulder blades are spread away from the spine, but that they're grounded. So that means that gentle rotation of the abdominal flesh to the right. Few more seconds. Good, good, good. And then go ahead and you can bring your knees back to the center. And I'm just going to hug them into the chest. And then we'll come up, roll over to the right, come up and find your inversion. So that could be many different things like legs in a chair, legs up the wall, legs along the sofa or the bed, or any way that you can elevate. So you're lying on your mat with your legs extended either up the wall in the chair, or you could even do headstand, you could do handstands, whatever inversion that you normally do. But and I was gonna say that legs up the wall is a nice simple inversion, but it's actually not, right? Because there is work here. So in legs up the wall, the outer hips go towards the wall. The spine stretches out so you get that length here. And the work in legs up the wall is being able to get the backs of your legs completely closed onto your mat. You can use a blanket under your bottom. Hannah, that looks good. You can use a blanket underneath your bottom for legs up the wall. If you're in headstand, for me in headstand, I try to relax the hips, relax the legs, and let my weight shift into the tips of my elbows. There you go. Take Shirsasana or hand as long as you want, but when you come down, release your neck. Legs up the wall or legs in the chair, even with the knees bent. If they're in the chair against the sofa, stay there. Nice, Aiden. And then once you come out of Shirsasana, you have some options again. You can rest in child's pose here. Or you could come standing on your feet and just kind of fold. That standing on your feet and folding is another nice option for an inversion if you didn't go into one. Legs up the wall, stay there a few more moments. Perfect. And then go ahead, guys. And if your legs up the wall, you can bend your knees and kind of push, hug the knees, roll over to the right and come up slowly. If you're in child's pose, then again, you come up slowly. And what I do remember us doing this yesterday, and so I'm going to do it again briefly. And so what I'm doing is taking 2 blankets at least, and maybe don't have to use anything, use even blocks if you need to. So watch. I'm gonna have 2 blankets, one on top of each other. Now you can do this. If you need more height, you can add your blocks between your 2 blankets, like a homemade bolster, right? Or just enough height to come reclined on. Now, I'm going to show you guys Supta Virasana. If Supta Virasana is impossible, what I want you to do is just lie down with your legs extended out. If you think you can do Supta Virasana, as you bend your knees, 10 toes go straight behind you, so they don't roll in and they don't roll out. You move a fist distance from your prop, you lift and you tuck. So there's a big descension of the posterior pelvis, and then you recline. And you can go anywhere with the arms. This prop underneath me can be lower, but if you have knee, maybe you've got some knee issues or ankle or toes, then you can just straighten your legs and lie on your prop. But if you have no injuries or no knee trouble, then attempt Supta Virasana. Keep your knees together and your bottom grounded. Now remember, in Supta Virasana, your bottom is not propped on anything. It's on your mat. If you prop your bottom in Supta Virasana, the warning has always been that it increases the intensity in your quadriceps. That's if you put something under your bottom and then recline back. It makes the stretch of the quadriceps more intense. That dip down. So having that dip down, and again, if you say, well, you're thinking, well, teacher, I just can't go all the way back. But if you still want to attempt, try coming onto your elbows like this, and maybe you don't get all the way back. But there's a block that can be placed there. You see? So there's ways. Oh, that feels so good. I think I just made up another pose. Ah. Yeah, it's like a Paryankasana. Y'all know Paryankasana, right? Oh man, that felt good. Okay, I won't keep y'all here too long. 2 more seconds. 2 more seconds. Sacrum down, quadriceps open. Good. Okay, come up, come out, come up, and you can use your elbows on the mat, come seated. Now, once you get seated, listen, if you've got knee trouble, this is the way to come out. Right? If you don't have any knee issues or there's no knee trouble, you can come forward, cross your ankles, roll your bottom back against your mat, and extend your legs. So we just want to stretch our legs out. And y'all know what's next. So once I stretch my legs out for just a moment, I'm gonna come reclined on my mat, and I've got 1 blanket to my hip. You can use a block instead of a blanket. And I'm gonna take a yoga belt. Remember, we talked about how you come grounded. So hold the mat, bend the knees, come down. I'll straighten my left leg and push my left foot into the wall. And then I'll lift my right leg and take my strap around my right foot. Supta Panangustasana 1. Remember, we don't want our leg here. If my leg is here, the buttock flesh is shortened. So I want to bring my leg back so that my outer ankle bone and my outer hip bone line up. And hold on to the strap, draw down, Push your foot up into your strap and really straighten your right knee. Open the back of your leg. Good. So as you draw down, remember, put some weight in your strap. Pull down, but kick up. And then see if you can move your right thigh bone back to the back of your right leg. Reach up, grab your strap with your right hand. Turn your right toes to the right knee to the right. Take your right leg out. Go up and over your block or your blanket. And then you want to really use your outer left heel to bring your outer left hip down. Use your outer left heel. See if you can make that outer left heel heavy against the wall or the invisible wall. And see if that brings your left thigh bone and your left outer hip down. And then keep that left hip grounded as you bring your right leg up. And you're going to take the left hand to your strap. Take your right leg to the left and you'll look to your right. Let's keep our left toe straight up to the ceiling. So compacting your hips, meaning your outer hips are tucking in. It's like you're crossing the legs. Good. Stay very stable with that left leg. It's grounded. Toes are up. Left inner heel is pushing. And then bring the leg back. Pull it into the chest. You can keep your head and shoulders grounded here. And then go ahead and release. Bend the knee and release. And then once you've extended that right leg out, just take a few moments. You'll notice differences, right? Maybe you feel like there's more space now with the right leg or the right side of the pelvis. And then go opposite. Bring your strap around your left foot. Extend your left leg up. Right foot is against the wall if you've got a wall. Push your outer right heel into the wall strongly. Move your thigh bone, left thigh bone back, right thigh bone down. See what happens if you make adjustments with your foot. Everyone do a dorsiflex. Drop your toes down towards your belly. Dorsiflex. Then kind of point your toes. See if that changes or articulates differently. Good. Now you can do the floint of the left foot and then turn the left toes left, left knee left, take your left leg out to the left. Go up and over your prop. So your left upper leg bone should face the mat or the block. Good. See, try to stretch evenly at your hip points. Now, this is one, guys, that Mr. Iyengar says will cure or heal sciatica. Right? So not a temporary thing. If we can learn to use the muscles and the bones correctly, yeah, we can use the body to open up the piriformis and sometimes relieve sciatica. Or just give that extra space on a more permanent basis. So press your outer right heel deeply into the wall. And you'll see that changes the bone, the right leg bone. And then bring your left leg up and take it across the body. So switch the hand that holds the strap. And your abdominal flesh goes opposite of your foot. So as your left leg's going to the right, your abdominal flesh goes to the left. Good. Sometimes using the hand to do that. Make sure your right toe stays straight up to the ceiling and try to roll that outer left hip down. Get some space at the lower part of the back. Great. And then bring your leg back to the center and then pull it into your chest. You can keep your head and your shoulders grounded. Good. Really draw all the way in. Perfecto. And then exhale, release. Now, before we go to Shavasana, so you could do whatever you want with that blanket, maybe move it to the side or keep your strap. But we're going to stay supine and we're going to do the ankle roll. So what that one is I'm going to bend the right knee, hold below the knee at the upper right shin bone. And I'll begin to rotate my right ankle 30 times clockwise and then 30 times counterclockwise. What I don't want you guys to do is I don't want you to do this or swing the foot or swing the knee or the hip. So we want to isolate the ankle and go as fully as you can. Sometimes we hear clicking and popping, or maybe there's a space that you feel is pretty limited where you can't reach into. This is another one that's good for balancing the joints. Sometimes some people feel this in the hip, some people feel it in the knee, I've had some people feel it all the way up into the shoulder. So it's 30 times clockwise and then 30 times counterclockwise. 60 on one ankle. Take your time and take deep breaths. This one does require some kind of focused breathing. When you are done with the right side, you release and you just let it rest for a moment, and then you pick it up on your left side. But remember, it's 60 rolls on each ankle, clockwise and then counter. And when I first started doing this, there was a place that felt like it really didn't even move. Do you see? Like I couldn't rotate into it. It's almost like a dead space. Switch sides. Diana, what are you doing? She's talking to someone outside of the room. Remember, try not to flap or flop the foot. You know, try to be, make this a rotation, counter, clockwise and clockwise. 60 in total, 30 each. Notice the difference between the right side and the left side. Circulation, if nothing else, circulation to the lower limbs, the ankle, the foot, the knee, the hip, even. Along the sides of the shin bone and the outer calf muscle, you feel that circulation and movement. And then once you're done with both sides, you'll just extend your legs down and you'll prepare for Shavasana. Or if you want to do Shavasana by taking your legs up the wall, you could do that. Maybe adding a blanket under the knees. So you would find your best, your most comfortable way to take Shavasana. Now, if you have back problems, another thing that we learned in that scoliosis workshop was you could take your Shavasana on your belly with maybe props under your front ankles or under your shins, again, to give some length in the low back. So come down for whatever Shavasana, whatever way you would like to take Shavasana. Once you get here, your arms go out to the sides with the palms of your hands up. If you're laying in a prone position on your belly, you can maybe take the arms out, or you can bring the backs of your hands, your forehead onto the backs of your hands. But once you get here, let your eyes close and relax every muscle and every bone in your body. Allow your tongue to rest at the base of the mouth. The eyeballs should move away from the eyelids. Relax the teeth that are at the back of the mouth. Make sure that you're not clenching or holding the teeth together. Relax the upper and the lower jawbone. Begin to allow your internal organs to become heavy. This will include the brain and the heart. They begin to reach towards the mat. Begin to deepen your breath. Slowly move your awareness back into the room. Small movements when you're ready in the fingers and in the toes. And you can bend the elbows and bring your hands to your belly or to your heart. Stretch your arms up and over your head when you're ready. Full body stretch. Bring the abdominal wall towards your mat as you reach into your fingertips. And then with your exhale, release your arms to your side body. Rest here for a few moments. And then bend the knees one at a time and bring your feet onto the mat. You can lift your bottom and tuck your sacrum and your tailbone. Reground your bottom and then bring your knees into your chest. Side to side or front to back. And then roll over onto the right and hold there. Fetal position. And then go ahead and bring yourselves up seated. Hands can come heart center, maybe thumbs to the third eye, or hands just resting at your legs. But take a moment here with your eyes closed. Honor the true self. And just a few quotes from Mr. Iyengar. The philosophy of pain is to conquer it. Pain comes to guide you. Pain is your guru. Do the maximum, knowing the minimum. Then break your maximum to go further and further. There is willpower beyond the intellect. Thank you guys very much. Namaste.